Welcome to Trials and Tribulations, live here from Las Vegas, Nevada, where we're at the California Trial Lawyers Association called CAALA conference. It's our first time doing this from like an on-location spot. So we were going to talk today about conferences, about the importance of them for lawyers and like just getting together in community, and also for us as lawyers who started running this conference circle or cycle as our circuit. As business people and not lawyers, how humbling it can be.
What does it
to try
feel
to
like?
Try to sell your products?
Yeah, what does it feel like to be at a legal conference as an attendee? What does it feel like to be at a legal conference as a vendor? And what does it feel like to be a vendor who's also a lawyer? And as Justin alluded to, it's like eating a huge slice of humble pie every single time. And we've been doing it since, what, 2016?
2016. So all of you guys, if you're lawyers who are watching this, have been to a conference before. You all know what it's like to go and walk through the exhibit hall and try and talk to the exhibitors. And most lawyers just want to rush through right there and not talk to anybody. They just want to get to the meetings and avoid talking to anyone. So I used to do exactly the same thing. And now, on the other end of it, for the past 6 or 7 years, we're here trying to get the attention of the people that we're trying to sell, let's say, level insurance or level case financing. We got all the swag. We're trying to give away all the stuff, all to try to grab attention for people to come and talk with us about our products. And there are people who are, open to discussion, but then there's the people who are just like, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I don't have any time for this.
Yeah, it happens all the time. There's different reactions that we get. And it always informs what's your strategy when you go to a conference. So it's not just a legal conference, any sort of conference or convention where you're going and that's your market that you're trying to market your goods to and your services to. What's the best way to do it? And I don't think anybody has figured that out completely. But the best way, I think, you have to start with the right expectations and with the right approach. If you're somewhere, you have to understand that not everyone's going to stop. Not everyone wants to talk to you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the people who walk past you aren't going to notice your brand. And maybe the next conference, or maybe in 3 years, because of that repetition, they remember you. Or maybe they notice you, but they're not ready to talk to you, but they go home, they go back to the office, they read your material, they say, wow, this is really something.
And looking around, you can't really get a clear picture of it right now. But,
check it out.
But this conference has, I think, something like 1,500 to 2,000 lawyers, all from
It's a massive conference.
But it's just from Southern California, that shows you the breadth and the depth of the organization of those lawyers. And so we could talk a little bit about our experience in going to conferences as a vendor and trying to sell our products. But I think it's also important to note how important it is as a lawyer or as any professional to attend your industry conferences, because these people who are here right now, they're here, they're talking with folks, they're getting their continuing legal education, but most importantly, they're networking, they're talking with people who may be doing things differently than they're doing. They're talking with vendors who have things that they're offering, which people may not be using in their practices right now. And all that kind of stuff just enhances the practice as a whole.
It really is how a lawyer stays on the forefront of his or her practice. I mean, you're in there, there's very good content, very good presenters. They have judges. I heard they even bring in defense counsel here. We're at a plaintiff's lawyer conference. They'll bring in top defense lawyers to chime in some of these discussions and presentations. And you learn techniques, you learn trial techniques, you learn about, things that are changing in the law, different opinions that have come down. It's a very efficient way to stay on the forefront. And of course, it's critical to understand what your colleagues are doing, and it's a great way to build your network and to develop business.
What's funny is we're sitting here, we've never done this before, but we're recording live at the conference, and people walk around, they're wondering, what are these guys doing? So it just creates a little extra buzz. Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
You want to talk with us on this?
Yes, first I'm presenting you with.
See, all right, hold on.
Bothered to bring us all the way to the convention.
So tell us your name.
My name is Wesley.
Hold on, I'm going to get this microphone.
Hi, Wesley.
Wesley, what's your name?
Wesley.
Where are you
Wesley
from,
Sklark.
Wesley?
And you're from Southern California, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so you're bringing this mailer, right?
I am, sir.
All right, so we sent this mailer out, and now people are coming because you're getting a Starbucks gift card for this?
Yes, sir.
See? The mail works. So Laura over here will get that for you. But at the same time, Wesley, I want to give you this. Do you know about our products?
I do not.
All right, so here's an opportunity for me to do this on camera, and you can tell us a little bit about your practice if you'd like to.
Okay, sure.
So, and I'm gonna stand up. Just kind of improvise here a little bit. I'm gonna stay seated. It's easier.
Okay.
So, Level Insurance is a product that Larry and I invented back in 2016. And what it does is it provides insurance for law firms who do plaintiffs work, so that if you lose your case at trial and you have the insurance, you make a claim and you get all your money. So, what kind of work do you do?
General practitioner.
Speak here for me.
General practitioner.
So, auto, premises, all that kind of
Auto,
stuff.
immigration, criminal defense.
So, do you try cases?
Yeah.
Have you ever lost a trial?
Yeah.
So, well, I think every good trial lawyer is also, and I think every good trial lawyer uses a trial. Otherwise, they're not a real trial lawyer. So our insurance is designed to protect against that loss. So if you buy the insurance early on in the case, within 120 days, and then you lose, you make a claim with every dollar that you spend on that case, that you otherwise come back from your client, you get back from the insurance. And then on the other end of it, we finance cases. So all the money you're putting into cases to advance for your clients, we loan money on that. You pay interest only throughout the life of the case, and then you pay us back the principal when you sell it from the process of the case. That way you're not constantly rolling money over and over of your own cash. You can use that to expand. You can use it to distribute to yourself, whatever you want. So
What's the catch?
there is no like so. Larry, my business partner, we've been practicing in Florida for 40 years. We invented the insurance in 2011 just out of an idea, because he was sitting in my office and asked me how I finance my cases and how I protect against the risk of losing, because I was a solo practitioner. And so this idea popped up, and I'm saying, well, if we have a way to protect against that, and we can level out that risk onto someone else, how would that affect our practice? And so we sought out to actually take that idea and make it a real business, and that's where the insurance came from. I think we've insured about $150 million worth of coverage at this point, and probably paid, I don't know, what do you think, Larry? Upwards, upwards in the range of maybe like $2 million in claims?
At least.
Yeah. And the claims are paid very quickly by the insurance carrier. It's an A-rated carrier. So there is no cash. It's great. And then on the financing side, it's simple. You apply for a loan, we underwrite your business, we give you a loan for your firm, and then we track the interest for each individual case so that you can pass that interest on to your client and make basically the loan almost interest-free, because you're just fronting the interest throughout the life, and then at the end of the case, you're collecting that back in the process.
So it gives an opportunity for the solo practitioner.
It
Gives the opportunity for the solo practitioner to expand their practice.
100%. I was a solo practitioner, and I'm 45 years old. I started my practice when I was 30. So I didn't have a lot of money, and I didn't have opportunity to get a bank loan. So if I got a great case, I'd bring another lawyer to help me with financing. And they would take a massive piece of the fee. If you have confidence in your case as a solo practitioner, this is the best way to just take it on your own and not worry about it. And then you can insure the loan if you want to. That way, if you lose the case and actually have to pay back the money, the insurance pays it back. So it's a great action.
Wesley, you were asking what the catch was.
Yeah.
There's a positive catch that I'd love to share. On the insurance side, on the insurance side, it's ethical to treat the premium itself as an asset, as a reimbursement case. So let's say you spend $1,000 on the premium. For the insurance policy, you settle the case, you can treat that as you would in any other cost of the reimbursement. So it really ends up costing you nothing. Same thing for the finance. As you book interest, as the loans outstanding, we track that, and when you resolve the case, we get an itemized printout of how much interest is paid. You can also treat that interest as a reimbursement. And it's really to maximize your profits, unlock your capital, along with your profit, not rolled up into expenses. And the first time you can transfer that downside risk on your insurance policy, like so many other businesses.
So what's the obligation on the client?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean the lawyer client?
Yeah, the lawyer.
As far as obligation is concerned, on the insurance product, none. You buy the insurance,
We pay the premium.
you're done. You have a policy, it's one-time premium,
It takes about 3 minutes to buy a policy.
and you're done. It's very, there's no underwriting of
We do
specifics.
online and stuff.
That's all very easy. As far as like the obligations for the loan, it's a personally guaranteed loan. So if you lose the case and have to pay it back, we amortize it over 24 months, so you don't have to have like a massive balloon payment in the event that you lose. But otherwise, we just pay. You do interest only monthly, and then when the case is over, we ask that all the principal get paid back within 30 days of the case resolved, and that comes out of your client's money.
And how do you set the interest rate?
The interest rate's set. It's fluctuating because of Fed rates, but I think it's currently sitting in around like 1.5% per month, which is lower than a credit card, higher than a bank. But truthfully, that's what you're paying as you're servicing it. But if your client is going to reimburse you, at the end of the day, your net cost is supposed to be zero. So, hold on, we owe you a Starbucks gift card, right? Laura, yeah, thank you so much. And Wesley, Laura, will you show Wesley the entry also to the contest so he can try to win?
You know,
Get a card.
if you have a card,
Yeah, drop one in.
let's make it known. We're gonna make sure that
We'll give you credit on the
Oh, you've been
podcast.
creating the
Yeah, for sure.
We'll put the card up on the podcast.
Very nice to meet you.
Super nice to meet you all.
Laura, make sure you get some of that too so we can enter the contest.
I will enter him.
You're very persuasive. Very successful.
Well, thank you.
How long have you guys been doing this?
2016 is when we hit the market.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we started the insurance in 2016, the loans in 2021. So it's been a great ride. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you, Wesley.
All right, so now get back
That was
in the
our
camera.
Our first live conference interview.
So what you see there, though, and what's important, it's not just for our business. It's in general. When you're at a conference, you meet people, whether you're selling something like we are to them, or you're just engaging as a lawyer or a professional, where ideas get exchanged. So like that gentleman right there did not know about what we do. We had a chance to give him a little bit of information, and who knows, maybe that will end up being something that we'll end up doing business
or
together.
if he doesn't want to, he brings it up. He goes out to have a drink with one of his buddies and brings it up there, and maybe his buddy's interested.
But you know what was most interesting about that, Larry? So that's like the fifth or sixth person since we've been here, and only about an hour and a half that we've been here, that came up with the mailer that we sent,
Yes.
which said that if you bring the mailer with you, you get a Starbucks gift card. So nice job with Laura. How much is that Starbucks gift card? How much is it?
$10.
$10. So $10 Starbucks gift card is all it costs to get that person to come here from a mailer and talk with us. So you just got to try to be creative, and I think what we're trying to do at these conferences is just really network with these firms, because you just never know what's going to come of it. And so I would say that any lawyer or professional that's watching this, the first thing they should be thinking is, what is the next professional conference that I can go to where I can both get educational credits and also network with my fellow
I know.
colleagues?
How many lawyers do we know? That's a crazy question, but who don't go to conferences? Say, I don't have time, whatever, I'm done with that. Or all they do is talk about politics. I think that's misplaced.
I do.
Perhaps there are some statewide or more regional or local bar associations that are very much politically oriented, and that get a little bit old. It's important, but if that's all you're doing, then yeah, I can see how that can get a little bit exhausting. But I'd encourage lawyers to look outside of their state bar association or even city or whatever. Start looking at these national conferences.
Yeah.
Start looking at large conferences that relate to other states, because it really is about being on the bleeding edge of your profession. And the best place and the most efficient place to do it is at a well-produced conference.
And you know what's interesting is that, take it back 4 or 5 years, and the world, I guess, was smaller, or 10 years, there would be no reason for a lawyer from like Florida or New York to come to CAALA, because CAALA is a California lawyers event. But I noticed on the list of names of people who are here, there were lawyers from other states. It was predominantly Southern California,
Yeah.
but there are lawyers that come here from other states, and it's very smart, because you never know what you're going to see as far as a case or an opportunity that may cross state lines. And big metropolitan areas like Miami, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, those kind of places, there's a lot of cross-pollination amongst lawyers that can work together to try to get these things
Absolutely.
done.
I think you can still also learn cutting-edge techniques from just thought leaders here, and this place is full of them.
Absolutely.
Not to mention the referral opportunities. Just having a national network these days, I think, is indispensable.
It really is. And I mean, for this particular, we'll tag CAALA in this, because I got to give them credit. We've been to a lot of big conferences. You know, we've been to Mass Torts Made Perfect, which is great. The Trial Lawyers University, which is great. Those are national conferences. This is a regional conference just dedicated to Southern California, and it is the largest one I've ever seen. One of the most organized I've seen.
And there's energy in here. I don't know if it's coming through the screen, but we've been to hundreds of these conferences. There's been nonstop energy in this room all day. Usually it comes in a couple waves. People go into the rooms for the presentations, they come out, and they run out.
Yeah.
Here, no. This has just been a constant buzz all day. We're really happy to be here. It's fun.
And we're going to keep doing more of these throughout the time we're here. We usually only do like one podcast a week, but I think we're going to do a bunch of live while we're here. We'll see if Laura can quickly edit them and get them on the internet like within a day. Maybe
No
we'll do
pressure,
something.
Laura.
Maybe we'll do something on Instagram. But anyway, for this one, meeting
This
adjourned.
episode was sponsored by LevelEsq. LevelEsq is designed by plaintiff lawyers for plaintiff lawyers. We empower our colleagues by providing the capital and risk management tools necessary to defeat big corporations and insurance companies.